do things.
Okay.
Panels, tutorial. Okay, so I'm gonna be showing a video. I'm gonna send a link. I'm gonna go through it. So tell me, did other people know about your improvement? Have you told them?
Not very specifically, I guess. I mean, a little bit. I'm just saying I'm feeling a little better on Hanzo.
That's very good.
And I've said, I learned a lot from the VOD that you sent me about Pharaoh.
That's good. So thus far, I've only coached you. The other two people that I picked, they're watching educational videos currently. That's
Okay.
because they're in platinum and silver, so they don't
Yeah.
have much basic game theory. But the same applies to you. You should probably watch the cross replacement video I sent you.
Yeah, I have watched that a couple times.
Good, very good. Do you write notes on it?
No, I've just been thinking about it as I go into game.
You seem to have a very natural understanding of the game, but you have to understand this. You're very good at the game micro, which is why you're masters. But if you were good at the game in the macro way as well, you would be grandmaster.
Okay.
Mechanically, the difference between grandmaster and masters is knowing these tiny details like this.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one thing. They don't know all of the things I'm telling you. They only know parts of it in low grandmaster, middle of the grandmaster rank.
Okay.
Yes. Most people don't know any of these things. These know how to play with the team, and they know callouts, and they have very good reaction time, etc.
Yeah.
They don't know the very in-depth details like this. Another thing I want to bring up is I'm gonna request that you send me a picture of how you hold your mouse, showing the entire table.
Sure.
In addition to how you hold your hands on the keyboard, etc. And I'm gonna want a picture with the mouse in the middle of the mouse pad. And when you show the table, you need to make sure it shows the edges of the table.
Okay.
And like the beginning and the end.
What?
Sure. Well, I'm on a long desk with like 4 computers on it because it's in the lab here, but the edge is just like where the computer sits on the right side.
Do you keep your elbows on the desk or
No.
on the armrests?
They kind of float. I rest the middle of my forearm on the edge of the table.
You should never have them floating in there.
Okay.
It's a bad habit.
Really?
Improper posture. Yeah, another thing you could probably look into as well is that when you look into your screen, is it center eye level? You have to drop your neck a little bit forward to go into that posture.
No, the center of my eye level is about 1/3 down from the top.
1/3 down from the top. So the screen is more below you than above you, right?
Sorry, say that again? Talk to him.
The screen is more like 1/3 of the top. What do you mean?
So if you, from my eyes straight to the computer, if I look straight forward, it's about 1/3 down from the top of the screen. So probably a little bit too low, but that's as high as these computers go.
No, I'm wondering, but the screen, is it adjustable? Can you move it up and down?
Oh, yes. It goes down to all the way at the table and then up to like 6 inches or so, or 10 centimeters.
Okay. So I'm going to be doing a lot of things which you might not understand, but one thing you will notice immediately is that it will be much more comfortable. You'll see more information faster because it will be in your primal field of view with your eyesight.
Okay.
It will be easier to do flicks on the mouse because you won't after a while have a flying elbow or whatever. So with elbow, it's always supposed to have firm placement. Professional players tend to have it on the armrests. That's the most common.
Yeah.
So it's like a large majority of the people, they don't have gaming chairs worth several hundreds of dollars. So they keep their elbows, not the entire elbow on the table, mind you, but a part of it, the soft part against the table, not the bone part.
Yeah.
That's too much. That's when you lose. That's when you have constant friction against the table.
That makes sense.
So people with armrests, the main catch is that they can have the armrest slightly higher than the table itself.
Oh,
so that their underarm is not going to touch the table and cause friction.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like having a mouse without a wire. Get it?
Without a what? Sorry.
No, you have a mouse, but it typically has a cable. But nowadays there's lots of mouses out there, gaming mouses available without a wire that are still as good as the wired ones.
Yeah, that's what we have here. The G903s.
That one is overly expensive, and
yeah.
it's I would have recommended you got either G403 or G73, but the G903 is not a bad mouse by any means. It's just 2 times more expensive than the other two.
Yeah.
In some cases, it's 4 times more expensive than G4.
Yeah, but the Logitech gave these to us, so
yeah,
we didn't have to pay for them.
thing.
Yeah.
I have had this mouse. I have the wireless Logitech G Pro.
Yeah.
Wireless, which costs $200. I
wow.
had it for 4 days before it stopped working because every time I click, I double click instead.
Really?
So, yeah, $200 5 days later. So don't buy that mouse. It's
okay, won't do it.
not sure if that's because of a clicking too bad or have a product failure. But the mouse we currently have, G903. So one thing we're going to go into detail is how do you grip your mouse?
I'd say it's a palm grip, but my whole palm doesn't rest on it. It's just the front pad, and the back pad kind of rests on the table a little bit.
So I'm gonna have you look at some pictures here to better represent. We say you have a variant of claw and palm.
Well, my fingers rest flat, but
the claw grip on the G903 does not look like in the picture.
Oh, okay.
Your fingers will be. The thing about claw grip is you don't have to have your fingers like it's showcased there.
Oh, really? Okay.
And yeah, with the G903, it's very much more like you have palm grip with your fingers, but the only thing that matters with claw grip is that your entire hand is not on the mouse. The back of your palm, or even in some cases the middle of your palm. So you have a variant, but the most important thing is claw grip is more like you have hooks of control attached to the mouse. Palm grip is when you cuddle with the mouse. Okay, so in this situation you need to have the mouse. You need to show a picture that's showing more. You need to see the edges of the paper.
Okay. So.
In addition, I can send a picture of what claw grip would look like. I have your exact mouse, so I'm gonna get that mouse and I'm gonna use it as an example.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it.
Does that help?
He's chilling on the right side. I'm slapped. Ignore that Hammond.
Okay, so I'm gonna show a picture. First and foremost, I'm gonna show my mouse pad.
Alrighty.
So I'm gonna show this table, like an example of how it looks from the picture. This is one of the basic pictures. Here's another one.
Okay.
Where I showcase where the elbow is placed and where the table is, and how I'd grip my mouse with this one typically. So now I'm gonna start with a grip like this, showing just the picture.
Okay.
They're on jump right now, they're on Lucio. Lucio's half.
That's just showing the picture, showing where the elbow is. And now I'm gonna go close range, showing the hand and how I hold it.
Okay.
Nope.
So you do a claw grip?
It's not really as extreme as you'd see in the picture. You just notice that the claw grip, you'll notice, like, I'll show the most significant part of the claw grip that you only need to really know. So with the claw grip, which by the way, all Overwatch League Pro players use claw grip.
Oh, really?
Claw grip is basically with your mouse, this is claw grip.
Okay.
Look at this natural arch.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to send you a picture of the natural arch. The natural arch of the fingers. You'll notice that the bottom part of my palm is what's touching it mainly. It's not the entire palm, because I'll show you a picture of what palm grip would look like. Now, one thing you'll notice between the two is it's very simple, the difference between the two.
Yeah.
When I take these pictures, I'm going to make it so the light is on, so you don't have the issue of... So I'm going to turn the light on, make it on, so you get the light.
Sure.
So it shows the darkness and everything. Then So this is just showcasing claw grip. So I'm holding it up in air so you can sort of see him for yourself.
Okay.
Now claw grip is very uncomfortable at first, that's why you do one finger at a time and then slowly adjust the way you grip your mouse.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show palm grip. Palm grip is difficult for me to even do.
Really?
But it's basically, yeah, because it's, there we go, this is palm grip. Oh, I better retake. I didn't include the lighting this time. Palm grip is like so, let's see. There we go. Now it's going to be very difficult to see the difference between the two. Very difficult, might I add. It's going to be, can you see the difference?
I think
Or in
it's
the same position.
just that the weight of your hand and arm are on different parts of your hand. Like it's.
Yes. On the claw grip, the weight of the mouse is at the back. You get it?
Yeah. With the back of your palm or like the center of your palm?
Doesn't matter. It's just, it's not supposed to be the... Okay, so you see in the picture, I'm going to resend the pictures that are most important here. And that is, palm grip is like this. Like, look. The most important factor is with palm grip, with a normal mouse, your fingers would be touching the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's an example of palm grip in a more extreme variant with a normal mouse. And you should be able to apply this to your current mouse. So, let's see here. So, this is the mouse I normally use because the one I had before I destroyed. But what you'll notice is the main difference is with palm grip, the entire mouse is the entire back of the mouse has the palm onto it. So you're just resting your entire hand on the mouse.
Yeah. So does that mean no weight is on the table itself?
When you're resting your hand on the mouse, it doesn't have to apply weight, but it means that you have more physical contact with the mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna show one picture. I'm gonna show pictures with that where it's literally on the fucking mouse pad instead of in the middle of the air. They should better showcase this. And don't take pictures on the side, so it's more understandable. This is what I believe palm grip would be functioned as. Okay. You'll notice, this is much more understandable if I show it like this. See,
Okay.
palm grip. It's very easily understood. The reason why you need to understand the difference between the two is this is claw grip. Look now. This is when it's going to show you the actual difference. It's on a different mouse, but because I don't, you're used to the mouse you have.
Sure. No problem.
So here's claw grip. Claw grip is not going to look the same for everyone else because you have different size hands and different sort of mouses.
Yeah.
But you'll notice the only significant difference is the upper part.
Yeah. So your finger
benefits
curves over.
of claw grip is that you click faster.
Really?
Because your fingers are naturally arched. Yeah, it's a couple of milliseconds faster. You release the arrow faster, so it responds more. You gotta think of it like this: the game has a ping, right?
Yeah.
Which is the lag from server to server, from your
Yeah.
internet to the server-side computer of Blizzard. And then there's something called input lag, which is the lag in real life, which is like with the computer.
Yeah.
How much time it takes for your computer to register the click and then send it to your internet, which then sends it to the ping. But then you also need to keep in mind, when you play the game, you react to things and then you click, and that also takes a certain amount of time before you react.
Yeah.
And the reaction time with claw grip is lowered than with palm grip, which is why Overwatch League professional players all use claw grip.
Okay. Cool. I think I'll start trying to use that then, if it helps.
Some people are a palm claw hybrid. Fingertip is relatively uncommon. You never see anyone with fingertip.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, claw grip is for players with larger hands. Palm hybrid is the normal one. If you have, it's very much a variance, but all the Koreans use claw grip because they're
Really?
trained to do so. Yeah, they have coaches that come and check how they hold their mouse. They literally go into specific detail because it's very important. It's their work. It's how to make their living.
Yeah.
So they're professional, like medical professionals that take the consideration of their length of their hands and arms.
Oh yeah.
And they only provided advice in extreme cases. But in the end, it's always going to be personal preference and what feels best to you. What I usually recommend is that from the pictures you send me, let's see, send me, let's see, I'm going to have to open up, go closer. Can you take a picture with your phone sideways like I did?
Oh sure.
And yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's up here with us. Go on. Drop him down.
Let's see.
Come here. What?
Yes.
Ride slow. Get the right. We got the sentinels out.
Yeah, that's palm grip.
Okay.
So I'm gonna open up your picture, put it in paint, because I'm autistic. That's what I do. I'll clear
That's
this.
good.
Don't say it. Okay. And I'm gonna draw on it and show you what I mean. So,
Nice. Push forward.
okay. So we're gonna draw an arch. And you'll see that the arch is not significant. Now the only real difference that needs to be done here, and let's have to get rid of it, is basically you need to have these fingers here. They need to be a little bit further back. They need to be here instead. You need to arch them intentionally. And then when you arch your fingers a little bit, don't arch them too much. To an extent where it's comfortable. Just make sure there's more of an arch.
Okay.
As in, if you try, you should have it in the middle of your palm because your palm is not supposed to be touching the mouse pad. So you have the bottom.
Oh really? Not at all.
Yeah, no, your palm's not supposed to touch too much.
How's this?
It's personal preference. Well, what matters mostly is the arch of the fingers.
Okay.
And you don't know who Iron Ace is, do you?
No, I don't think so.
The best handsaw in Europe.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Sure. I don't really know EU at all, just a friend, basically.
Okay, Iron Aids. Montage. He doesn't have much of a montage.
EMP coming?
But there's some videos in them that have several hundred thousands of views. And then there's Arge, if you ever heard about Arge.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
And see Arge is here too.
Nice.
Kairu is... he was rank 4.
Wow.
This was last season. Here you'd see a lot of people. These are all the best here. Exu is the best Genji in Europe. I'm pretty sure you can find Necros here.
Really?
Yeah, you know who Necros is.
Nice. Yeah.
Necros and Exu are friends. And
Nice.
Necros, you can see, this is, if you want to know, it's the site admin of a boosting firm. A lot of higher SR players that are famous like him have meddled with boosting before.
Really? Is it like the duo with someone to boost, or go into someone's account and boost that way?
Yeah, it depends. It varies.
Okay.
Very much personal preference. But there's lots of people over here who are famous. I don't think you know most of the Europeans.
Yeah, no, I've heard of Necros and a few others, but that's about it.
Necros, yeah, but that's because he's NA. Iron
Oh, he is, okay.
NA too.
Okay.
Cabster, he's like a 16-year-old who has like 5 accounts in top 10 almost.
Oh, I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, that is Cabster. KSA had There's a lot of people in here, basically. Iron Aids too. This guy, this is Highland. I think I have posters on the tower. That's it. This is Highland. He was 4.655.
Oh my god.
He was a Genji Moon trick in season 6. Presently, he's a tank lane.
Really?
So, yeah. He has anxiety issues that are serious. So he can't play DPS anymore. Because he tried playing in lower SRs and he kept losing. So he,
Really?
he lost all confidence in himself.
Damn.
Because he expected to just kill everyone constantly without any issue.
Huh.
Okay, so this is how you do it differently. Now, your palm can touch the mouse, but you should like try to keep it with the claw. You should at least have some tension. You know?
Like in the arch, have tension that way?
Yeah, my friend.
Yeah, but you should like make sure that the palm is always sort of against the mouse.
Okay.
So you can feel it when you move, and then
So-
the hooks basically.
So should my hand be much further forward on the mouse so that it's on top? Because it's... You know, I tend to not put a lot of weight, but just like the back, you know, the karate chop part of my palm is like resting on the table just a little bit.
Yeah. So please explain that again from the beginning.
So here, I'll do this way. I think that'll make sense. This. Let me see. This.
Can you see Overwatch right now?
I just see black right now, but it looks like the Overwatch mouse, so yeah. So this, just this part of my palm rests a little bit on the mouse. Or on the pad, I'm sorry.
Gonna stop sharing the screen, try to stream Overwatch, can you see Overwatch now? Will use black.
It's just loading, hold on.
Permanently loading. Let's see what happens when I go on Overwatch. Can you see it now?
I think it might be my end, it's just loading still.
No, it's not your end. I know what I have to fix.
Oh, okay.
You want to see it? It's very simple. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and I'm gonna start sharing my normal screen as normal. I'm gonna show you what setting you have to change. So you go here, Task Manager, click on Overwatch. And this is something you should always, you should not activate this because it's gonna make it so that you can't record, basically. In some
Oh,
cases.
really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try something. Maybe I can record if I use this function. Let's try it. I'm gonna try it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to turn instant replay.
Or if you want to just Twitch stream or something, I can watch there.
I'm gonna try, see what happens when I do it here.
Okay.
Oh, I need to stop. I'm not supposed to be streaming publicly. It's supposed to
Okay.
be unlisted.
Oh, yeah, right. Of course.
Oh, 1080p with 60 FPS. What, really?
It's pretty high to stream.
I don't like that quality. It takes the amount on my PC. 720p, 30 FPS is like the minimum. Just check here.
Yeah.
See if it starts.
It's above. You're dropping your bombs and then walking away. Move this left, Right. Here.
Sorry?
Is your team playing right now?
Yeah.
Would you like to join them on my whole
No, it's okay. I'd rather learn. It's optional practice, so they're just kind of quick play and stuff.
Yeah, I see.
Arcades and things.
Just wondering why it's not working at all.
Strange.
It's weird. So let's see if I can do something. Connect. YouTube. Okay, now I have to log back in. allow. Now I can try again. And try public, because otherwise I might not see it.
Okay.
And then I'll edit it to be unlisted once it comes up.
Okay. It's on YouTube or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna feel it's gonna start. Okay.
Nice. I'm on the hammer. I'm on the hammer.
Should be interesting. To see if the stream works. Doesn't always use OBS. I already know OBS works better, it's no concern.
Yeah. Yeah, OBS is much better than Shadowplay, I think.
Okay. So it's waiting, but it's not working. Okay, enough of that one. Oh, it stopped broadcasting. I'll try it now. Broadcast test. So before I start, I'll do the settings. So I'll make sure. There we go. Test broadcast.
Break behind, break behind. Junkrat. I got you. I'm dead. Kill hog, kill hog. Hog on point, hog on point. Get away from point here. They got point.
Roadhog is in point. Be careful.
I'm watching out.
No, I'm not gonna bother with this test broadcast. It had its chance. I'm just gonna use OBS because I know it works.
Okay.
So what I'm planning on doing is pretty simple. I'm gonna play one game in like Diamond SR.
Okay.
I'm just gonna show you and then explain and give some actual commentary on what I'm doing.
Okay. Sounds great.
Specific window, only Overwatch. But it doesn't show Overwatch because it's... So...
Oh, do you mind if I run to the bathroom? I'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah, go to the bathroom.
Okay, thanks. I'll be right back.
Help me, Reaper behind. Kill this motherfucker. Not there. Reaper behind, slap. Reaper behind, slap. Yeah, go for it. He's that. Alright, don't use all of our ults here. Fuck that thing. I'm stuck in a corner. No! May, soul shattering May. Don't care.
Oh shit.
God, she got so much HP. What the fuck is that shit? Yeah, we need to stay here.
Okay, I'm back.
Nice.
Oh, can you hear me?
So I added it because the first one was a little bit embarrassing. Was saying how much I love my girlfriend. She knows watching me play.
May is on me, May is on me.
I was not here. I did not see anything.
No. Alright, I couldn't back up. I was backing up.
Added.
I'm gonna supercharge it back to flank. Frag.
It's okay like that.
Yeah, watch out for that. Alright, I'm getting out of here. Wait, I'm locked up. Rally to me, rally to me. I'm on point! I'm dying!
So the primary intent behind this gameplay I'm about to show you is only gonna be the only thing that I'm gonna want from the stream is I'm not gonna want to win every game. I'm just gonna try to show you what happens when you properly execute the things I talked about.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, my settings are as following: H1600 DPI, 2.25. My crosshair settings can be seen here if you ever fancy them for some reason.
Sure.
There you go, picture set.
Okay, sweet.
I'm gonna explain something to you meanwhile. I'm gonna start by warming up.
I have a pretty similar crosshair. It's maybe 6 and 6 or 7 and 7 and green, but it's otherwise the same. I think.
Let me see. Are you watching the stream right now?
No, I don't see it. Where,
That's good.
is it on the YouTube one? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I got it.
I don't stream on Twitch. I stream on YouTube, so I can view some Vicer if necessary.
Oh, okay, nice.
As well as the fact that YouTube allows. See.
I'm gonna play a little bit of that because I don't want to be on there.
So you see, when I hit the arrow, you don't reply back to me. I'm gonna leave the Discord pause right there, okay?
Okay.
So I'm just gonna watch the stream, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to explain some things to you. And if you have any questions, just write to me on Discord, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, awesome. Don't forget, I'm gonna go through a few things I mentioned, but I'm gonna show them live in game.
Okay, sounds good.
So here, well, not headshot, slightly higher. Headshot. 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 Don't do this. Let me show. Don't do this. Although it still gets the headshot, it's not as reliant. Sometimes you don't get the time to aim, but when you can, in this case, we're from that angle, going slightly a bit above during a flick. When you're this close, doesn't matter. So you want to, as a rule of thumb, from a long distance especially. Don't get to the top, go to the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you switch.
Prediction? No. Prediction on this one. No prediction here. Prediction.
They fall before one after another.
Where's that for?
We're going to comp game, if you're wondering. Like to warm up like this for like 2 minutes every time. I'm using a sensitivity, I have no muscle memory built up. So you're not going to see me at my normal skill level. I'm trying a lower one as well.
I'm trying, does it like grab me?
So right there, I should charge my arrows at close range. I want to do uncharged headshots to kill them as fast as possible. I had a mouse I was used to. I had two in fact, but they both no longer work. So I was using the mouse and the mouse and okay. Oh, see, too low. I'm gonna go in a comp game and show.
Maze on left side, maze on left side. I like the Pharaoh.
Overwatch. I'll keep the music on.
Break low, break low.
It's a friendly reminder that I love.
I can't! I think our team had a death wish there. Oh, she's off to 99, that's actually 2. Tracer, just die.
So comp game. It'll take some time as it
But do
goes.
not go in.
But thus far, I've been messing around with accounts. This one I play for.
I need help, I need help.
Greece stats aren't too good. So
That was my bad.
friends and my girlfriends and we tried playing Sen here. So like I play a lot of different roles to keep myself up to top Sen, McCree. Played some Hansel. I didn't really try out. I was playing with a group of people with my girlfriend, and I was intentionally fucking with my sense and my grip so I wouldn't play too good. I was limiting myself. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna leave team wise because that might affect the team morale. I want to give the team morale.
I just threw it there.
I'm asking you to join team wise.
Hey.
Can you come join team wise? You're a main
Mercy,
fan.
she's one in the back. How would you? I was literally left click. Or is your
I want to think I can mute him too. And then, just some random person.
Nice skill.
It's not a boosting order or anything. So, perfect. Even if they leave, if they come back, still gonna be muted. So another thing I'm gonna do is I don't actually never
Maze on point. There was something else I could do. I was in the middle of the grass.
looking at a team composition, you have a Genji, you have Death Bomb is on Australia, Dive is mobile tanks like Diva and Winston's a pretty good position. You shoot an arrow up. It should come back after 6 to 7 seconds. It's still come back right now. It's a little bit forward though. So what I can do is something like see if you can shoot through that gap.
Our tank punch is so bad. There's a Moro behind you, behind you. One. My bad. One.
Genji's coming here maybe. Crouch. Shot an arrow.
I thought the pride was going to be there. So it's in low. How's this inside? Hyper shatter. Yeah, go for it. That looks great. Get up. They're all hammered.
The Genji's still up.
Get back, Ryan.
Keep the wolf under here. Turn this second. I do hold shot shot. Oh, this is when I walk under. Are you healing here?
Go, Lord.
He's showing case in good position here.
Right step, get right. This flanking.
Sorry, she's got 50. She's not grabbing it, right? So, there's something there. So, I'm good.
Right foot's up, right foot's up. I got you.
Stand there. Flank. So now we have a song there. Through here. Charge downs, uncharge because of the fight. Is he down here? She's here, right? She's behind, I think. I don't know, here. The Widowmaker's gonna come left or right, maybe right, maybe middle. I'll do this side. See Widow here. Healing. So I'll go into an arm.
What the fuck?
Playing higher SR accounts too. Yeah. Probably should, to be honest. I need to practice. Lunch, action time. I'll do one there so I can do that. Oh, I'm overextending? This is how you can overextend. Because they had a troll. How odd positions up to be competitive. It's not necessarily very good. Are you peeling?
Right down. Can't see their back up. I'm gonna back up.
It's not really a good example. Cross replacement, you'll see. The reason why I jumped is because I wanted to lunge out of the for the front strike or Earth Shadow. I'm really good example, but you saw how in the beginning it wasn't that good and then the engine started running.
I'll go for a nano block.
People are throwing and stuff. It's typically like this sometimes. But yeah, from what you've seen, you'll see a very much overextend. I will overextend like a mother hacker. It's a trademark people see with me in all SRNGs is that I flank a lot. Like you notice that I was behind enemy lines without necessarily shooting the first person I saw, because I'm aware of when they can't see me and when they can. I can tell. Not always, but typically I know how to sneak behind them and then stay in the locations that I can shoot people without being noticed, and I decisively decide when I shoot people. For instance, if I lunge to get into position, I don't start shooting again if they don't know where I am until my lunge is back on cooldown, as in back off cooldown. So what you do here is also you don't know which one played Sombra. We don't know who played Sombra here yet.
Try to save, try to start, sorry,
Now, if you're wondering, the reason why I made a team chat is because if I for some reason play bad, they're not going to tell me to switch. These people are all strangers and I couldn't care less about anything they say. The reason I also have muted this communication completely useless for me in this situation. I benefit more from hearing the sound and making the decisions myself. This is not necessarily how you should think. I can do voice comps and no voice comps. I can show examples of how I play differently when I'm playing with the team with voice comps on and when I'm playing without the team without voice comps. Crouch immediately and stand here. So narrow here, so I see where she's going. So we predict the Anna and the far right here.
Sorry, I slept you. Silver border.
Catch up from behind is difficult because the hitbox becomes smaller. So I don't know who plays Sombra anymore.
Play of the game.
I'm getting out of here.
So when you watch me play, pay attention to how clean the flick is, how the tracking is, tracking and the micro flick. Sometimes I flick when I notice, when I hear sounds in behind me. I might go to my normal sensitivity, but I'm gonna keep it at this one temporarily.
Lars. I'm recording, you can watch it later if you want.
Adam McCrean did literally nothing. All game.
Can you see the gameplay, by the way? Okay, so you're playing Overwatch and watching it. Do you have two monitors or only have one? Da, na, 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 na. Oh, already it went from 32 eliminations to like 34. Went down. This is because in the other games I wasn't tryharding like I would be right now, for instance. So like in that game you saw me try a little bit, but not really. If I were to seriously trying hard, I would have to
Prepare to attack.
go back to my old sense, but I refuse. I'm staying on this one. Well, this team comp, I know for sure that I'm probably not gonna play. Nah, I'm gonna keep it to this. I can't just keep fucking around with my sense. It's a very bad habit. Someone already left.
Hello again.
Blank
And
no
GG.
game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna avoid this guy.
With every death comes honor. With honor, redemption.
Oh, he's back.
Fortunately. Let's try to win this game together. He probably is DC'd and came back immediately. I'm not sure if he's intending on leaving.
What do you want me to play, dude? I'll fill.
Reinhardt will be fine. Reinhardt's what we need right now. On your side,
I
AOC.
fucking hit my main tank though, dude. So bad in this patch.
I can go right.
Commences in 30 seconds.
Ah, now he's leaving.
Okay, GG.
Good for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I recommend that you avoid blank no game. I made sure to say that at the end, right before the game ends, so that I can start a game, and most likely some of them will still see. It's gonna insta queue, but I'm most likely not gonna have blank no game on my team. He's now on the enemy team. This is how you use avoid his teammate properly. Always queue up right after the game. Always queue up right after the game when you've avoided the person you want on your team. I spotted a Symmetra one trick and I did not like them, therefore avoid. Yeah.
Hello, my friend.
There we go. And now he's avoided. I should have avoided him properly the first time. It's a mistake.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey teammates, let's try to win this game together. I'm going to communicate with my teammates and try to play with them. But I'm going to do something. Put their volume down.
Do we have someone who's an experienced Reinhardt?
Why the writing so?
Because me and Lars played like 3 games in a row together.
That feels bad, man. Should have probably group up by now.
Yeah, I know, right? The funny thing is, we were in the last game. Yeah, he's a decent
I'm
mercy.
gonna show you some
We played the last
some
game
tricks
together
most
as
people
well,
don't know they can do.
and
You
then
can
our
be in
team
this
joined,
location,
and now we're on a different team.
and you can stand on top of this.
Yeah, then I'm gonna
High ground here.
fuck the hell
Time to act.
There's another few ones I want to show you. Those are, you could probably not imagine how you could use in most situations.
Yo, can I ask
And
you
there's
all
one
to do
here.
me a favor? So,
You can be stuck on that if you do it properly.
toss a nader.
You can be on top of this one. There's high ground
So
here.
don't stand in front of me. Because
There's high ground here as well. You can wall climb up here and hide from enemies.
You wanna do what?
You can also
no.
wall climb and be up here. So I'm gonna set up here. We'll set up wall climb there.
I missed.
That's
And then I launch to get to this side. A sonar with a payload. Shield on this guy. Need healing? Need healing man. Bring here.
Wait with it.
Yeah. Oh, Genji,
We're on you, Andy.
Anna's here. Top. By sound.
Everyone get the Genji's one. Go down.
The health forces my teammates are clogging things up when they're in front. The Widowmaker.
Or at least not it.
Need healing, Mercy, in front of you.
Dude, you're lying to me, man. One.
I'm dead. I'm playing back.
Great deal of attempt, man.
Okay. Temporarily mute. Actually, no, stay. So right now I'm playing that. I'm being disoriented.
I will not.
Even though I was playing fine a few hours ago. I mean, half an hour ago. I was in a call with my girlfriend and talking to one team. So, the lunch there was why I mentioned this.
The payload has been
Tactical visor ready for deployment.
Need healing here? Can you put Bionic Field Soldier? Bionic Field. I need your E. So difficult with distance, close range. Yeah, should I use my normal one? I'll use it. I'll delete the game. I showcased some ability tricks. These are all really showy. This is how I play when I'm boosting, for instance. I'm staying up there. No, the game's gonna probably wall climb soon. Don't worry, got launch again. That should have been a headshot, but there's no right. Wall climb because otherwise it's intentional. Higher sword, that would have been a mistake. Huge one, my bad.
not your time.
But one thing I'd always be good at is close range. Suck with anything else. Let's see. Try to showcase how it uses. Well. You ice wall almost killed me there. Thank you. is good. Once you have that. Turn F-Flex on so I don't have my eyes hurting. Yeah, that's better. Kill them now. You can rest me, Mercy. Rest me. Rest me. Push forward and rest me. Don't be scared now. Thank you. I could have body shot him 2 times and killed him there, but I've gone down to the shot. I can do that playstyle at this SR range when I'm getting cocky. But the thing is, if I do this for a while, I'm just gonna show you what happens if I go in higher SR games. Like, you'll notice that I won't be able to play the same way. I will also die more often. I'll be punished strictly, very strictly. I'll go on, which account am I gonna go on? I have a bunch of random ones I can pick. I think I'll pick some random level 30 Smurf with a Russian barcode name. That's what I like doing the most. Let's see if I can still log on to it though. I hope it's not still banned. That would suck. Let's see, I have it still. Logging onto it now.
With every death comes honor. With honor, redemption.
Give it your all.
Okay, so
It is not my preference to see to matters personally, but I will see them done.
Attack
Number,
commences in 30 seconds.
Stick to the plan.
this one.
And if
There
you
we
get
go.
into trouble, I'll bail you out.
Time to add it. Let's see. Is it still banned? It's a decade if you're wondering. We used this to boost someone to top 500 from platinum. This account was used barely in range the whole time. We have to swap accounts too. I'm sorry. Let's see, it's kill cam. I always watch kill cam. See my sticks. See? I should have crouched. I went in first. Or waited. That's part of the mistake from playing too aggressive, but that will happen more often. I'm gonna show this properly. This room is insane. So what I did there is called holding an ammo. Right on. Need healing right side. Missing on my shots.
Rendezvous at my position.
So what happened there is I whiffed everything. Look, I knew it was going up. I didn't charge my first arrow properly. Normally one thing I excel at is close range fights. The only thing I know is I always have performance anxiety when someone's watching me. I have severe anxiety issues in general. I can play on a recording. That's just too difficult. Need healing? Okay, I gotta turn F-Flex a little bit higher. I can't recognize the colors.
My ultimate ability is
Start
charging.
over at the beginning.
FPS is going down. Then I do this trick. Always keep your disbuffering on.
Someone get that
Oh,
payload
FPS is going
moving.
down significantly. You need to turn.
Walk it off.
There you go. Try FPS again. So. Okay. So I'm playing very bad right now. I'm gonna go back to this one. Turn off the music. I mostly have the music on, so you don't hear the static noise of my microphone. I'm gonna stop talking for a few minutes.
My ultimate is charging.
For information, you can stand there. See if you can get it right.
Rendezvous at my position.
Oh, whatever, I'll show it later. Custom game or something.
My ultimate is charging.
Payload secured. Move out.
There we go. So, time to show him custom game. The low sense does not mean anything. Like this sensitivity that I have when I was 2.5, that's basically what the tracksuit has.
Play of
I'm gonna keep it to 2.25 and get used to it. But before that, I'm gonna go on a custom game. if I want a certain specific map, so I'm going to turn off every one of them, and it's Dorado. I want to be on the defending side, and I'm going to click cancel. So I'm just going to show you some spots.
Traveling to Dorado. With every
There's
death
plenty of them.
comes honor.
I'm going to show a couple. There's many things you need to learn. For instance, when you've all climbed up here, if you all climb like this, you're going to get stopped by that. But if you've all climbed up in here, you can go in this, and then you can lunge to the other side here. And one thing I like doing is, instead of wall climbing this, I sometimes just wall climb this instead. It takes a little bit further distance, so you get a vision of the enemies before they take a vision of you. If you do it too close, they get a vision of you. But it also covers your field of view, so it's like it goes both ways. On here, you've already shown this multiple times. I'd like to stand this and then move forward, jump. What I want to showcase is you can stand on that. I'm not sure if they patched it. They might have. Won't surprise me. This was a little bit too bugged. It's difficult, but I used to be able to stand on top of this. You have to stand, maybe it's a specific spot. Or is it this side instead? I remember it being middle. Seems they fixed it. Try again. Nope, they fixed that. If you're wondering, you can wall climb up here from anywhere. Concerning how I do a traditional flank route, like there's many ways you can go around this. Jump. Always jump before you wall climb sometimes so you can get more height. So jump and then wall climb. Then you can lunge over here like this. That's a possible thing. Most people don't know what they can do. And what I'd normally do during most games, like I showed you the traditional route where you jump out and then you wall climb up and then you can lunge and then also go up here. What I didn't show is this one, where you go up like this and you crouch, walk over, and now you do one of two things. You can go up here, charge an hour first, go up here, wall climb here, and then sometimes at lower SRs you can lunge so you reach this and then start headshotting, and then immediately just go over by lunging again or whatever. So an example like this is, and then if people are scary, you can just do this, and you can go down this way, and then if they're wondering where you went, they're most likely gonna go back and check. You can then go back up. Kill the healers, kill the supports, do whatever you want. Voila. Here's another location. Getting up there, I haven't shown that yet. A little bit difficult actually. But if you get up here, you can be here forever. You can flank. And then you can also be on top of this one. You can also be stuck on that one from what I'm aware. The reason why I know all these things is because map exploitation is my forte. You can, but it's hard to get the timing right. It's like you have to wall climb up here first, and then you have to lunge forward to get to it. But like this can be done in so many different maps. Okay, you have to lunge incline towards it, but not sideways. Too much momentum. So now I'm stuck on this one. Now I can't wall climb again because I already used my wall climb. But I can still grab ledges. So let's say I wall climb here, and then I can do this. Wall climb here. That's possible. It's important that you learn this. You can wall climb here, because you don't want people to... That's possible. So if you're here and you want to get up high ground, but you can't go high ground for some reason, when you go on here, like when you're wall climbing, jump, hold space, jump and hold space when you get close to a ledge, and it's going to grab. An example of this is simple. You can indefinitely do this if you get the timing right. That's why you gotta get the timing right, if you go too far away. An example here is you can be on this ledge, I'll climb up here, people are gonna run after you. You go down here, and you should typically, like, normally I wouldn't do it like that. Like, these are all flanking moves designed for being used on this map in a very special way. Shoot people, use rapid fire typically to keep your move speed, and then go underneath here, throw them over the ground, or the top of the wall. And then from here, if you see a certain amount of people, you can wall climb up and shoot an Anne or a Mercy that's standing here in safety, thinking they're safe in this corner, for instance. And there's plenty more things to do, like you can wall climb here, and then you can go here. And they think that you might end up there, but during this moment you can headshot someone who's behind the shield, because you'll be above them. Another example is this. You can wall climb to get above here, wall climb to get above here, here, and then from here, something you could do, lunge, and then if you do it right, from what I'm aware, you can do a double lunge. I'm just not sure if you've seen this before. I'm not sure if they patched it or not. I haven't done it. I don't really do it in games normally. You can do like an alternate lunge. You'd lunge this way and then this way. Immediately. I'll show it later. I'm gonna go on the high res account. You can't climb from the side. You have to climb whilst holding W. But when you climb, you should always look upwards. Or if the enemy is behind you or something like that, you look downwards. Now I'm gonna go on the Russian account or whatever. Let's see. I'm not sure if this one is banned or not. All my accounts are getting banned nowadays. There's not really enough to pick from. They're really catching up on boosters. See, okay, now this one's not banned, luckily. So it was level 31, and it had, look how many hours of playtime it had in competitive. It had 9 hours, and it only went up to like level. The stats weren't that incredible, honestly. I had an 80% win rate with like 49 games played, 39 games won, 10 lost. It started in that low masters and then went up to grandmaster, from what I remember. I'm not sure. Oh. Okay, wait. That's my girlfriend calling in the group team with her friend. Gonna send them the link. Hanso in Diamond? It started in Diamond here. Now, Damien, I'm gonna keep Discord here. Let's see. I gotta fix the sense. You can see it's 2.5. That's what I normally will use, but I'm gonna do 2.25 now. This is the old crosshair I would use. See how big it is? It's bad. Don't know what I saw in that crosshair. There we go. Perfect. So this account's MMR is like 4.2, so I'm gonna use this as a scrap account for fun. Da -na -na -na. Da -da -da -da. Darling, if you girls have any music you want me to listen to, you can just send it and I'll watch it. I'll play it, okay? Play it in the background. Hey, how are you guys doing? I'll join the call until the game starts, but what are you guys gonna do?
I'm editing Jesse's icon.
You're editing it? Aww.
Well, look at her new icon, it matches mine a bit more.
Aww. Looks adorable. Yeah. Pat. Here's a friendly reminder, I love you, Amelia. My love, my darling. Okay?
Thank you.
We're gonna watch that anime when I'm finished with this game or so, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Hey, Lars.
Yes? The student is watching the stream, by the way, if you're wondering. Yes?
Wait, he hears us?
Hello.
I hope you don't mind.
Wait, does he hear us?
I can mute it, okay?
No,
Yes, he did hear, but I can't see the desktop or whatever.
Hello.
He just said hi in Discord text.
Hey.
Damien is the student on that college team, remember? They,
Okay. Yeah.
I talked about it. What is it, Jesse? You want to talk about
I
something?
told Shiro about my decision making in life and that I ask people for their opinions, but do it my way anyway.
Yeah, it's one way to do it.
Wow.
Fuck the haters.
Fick the haters. Mein Deutsch ist so.
Hallo, ich German. Dude, at work today, because I was so stressed out, I instead of saying sorry, I was like, sorry.
Oh, sorry, dude. Yeah, for making you be
Sorry. Fucking German as
Do
fuck.
you girls want me to open loot boxes on stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Give
both
me
watching,
loot
or is it only
box.
Jesse and?
Give me lube.
Okay. Are you watching yet? I'll start opening.
Wait, let me click the stream link. Ooh, whoa.
I watch it
20 years old, by the way. Works with Bandai Namco, by the way. Oh, whoa. Yikes.
Let's see.
Whoa, it's crap. Cool.
It's actual crap. I just hope I get a Hansa skin or something.
Quick, hands over there.
I'm just spamming it before the game starts so you can maybe get a Hansa skin.
Oriana?
Moira.
You want me to get a Moira skin?
No.
Hacking to the knee.
I like this play from someone.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Oh.
Next.
I have
Oh, no!
Uh-oh.
Go to Inslog Hanso now. Oh, Rolex and Sunia. That's interesting.
We're playing Grandmaster.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Have fun with that, Grandpa.
one Grandmaster game.
I'm a
Nice
Grandmaster, okay.
nickname.
It's a Russian one. It's kind of weird. I could have put the Overwatch rolling up now.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
I'll see you hackers. Smell you later.
Wish me luck. Come on.
Stinky winky.
Thank you.
Alright.
Thank you.
Guten Laken.
And you too, Jesse. Are you gonna wish me luck?
No, I get Shiro strips.
Aww. Okay. I'm gonna
Alright.
focus on the game now. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
I hope you have fun.
Comes honor. With honor, redemption.
I don't even feel the
What do you want to play? On the Noël, on play Tank if you want. Okay, go, merci, Egon.
We don't have any main attack player. Expect our.
Can play main tank if you can play heal.
Yo, Slate, can you Ryan?
Hey.
Since we have no main tank. Yeah, Slate is willing to go Ryan. Can you switch?
Okay, go switch Slate.
Hola.
Let's go, boys.
Hey.
Hurry.
¿Qué onda?
5,
Hey.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Oh, no, Muras, last time, maybe? Nah, thank you very much. You got me good there. When is we doing this? I can't do much now. I died last. Positioning was good. I applied pressure. I think we're losing because Rolex doesn't play anything besides Hanso. Sombra's really good though, it's OP.
Thank you, my friend.
Hey, the healing here behind. On my dragon shot. Got Anna? You hear? One HP Ansel. Use pistol him. Pistol him. 1 HP. Nice. I'm sleeping here. I might get killed from left side. Need healing? I'm dead. I'm sorry. Guys, play safe. No, it's currently 4 versus 5. I'll stick to this.
We're gonna have shadows.
I'm at Dragon Strike still. I might just use it. Do you have a runner?
Come over here. EMP charged. EMP is charged.
See through the dragon's eyes. The dragon
Get up. Fuck.
No, let me eat first.
I'm at Dragon Strike. Yeah, I'm ready.
Fire at will.
I'm gonna hide in the flanking position. Don't fly to me temporarily. Don't fly to me, I said. Just don't. Stop. You're revealing my location. Thank you. He's not supposed to. God damn it. You're like, she's just so fascinated by this because no one does it. Should have aimed higher there. Cross replacement confused me. It's so long distance. I'm gonna go for shots.
They got wings now. I need healing. I'm gonna leave people they come. I will go do that. Lol.
I want to play.
Playing my queen. Others still to the left. Others to the left. One still to the left. There we go.
Hola. Hello.
Anzo bien.
Look, Anna's AFK. We got a Torville now. Oh my god.
I planted.
My ultimate is ready.
Actually, no, they're entertaining, I guess. I'm just too asocial.
Right, I'm coming with grass.
Did you see how I predicted that was going to happen after the Dragon Strike? A lot of this can be... I can analyze my own water use, right?
You got predicted that.
Fire at will. Beyond that. Hey.
No.
0 to 1. Switching sides. Prepare to attack.
Okay, I should have the
Select
6.
your hero.
Should have the 6, I think. The 6 or 5. I don't think it matters. I'm gonna try 6 or 2.5. But like you'll see how I set up and how I play, Damien. There's a lot to learn from this. I also show some nice spots. But I'm only gonna finish this game, I think. And
They
then
might
I'm
go
gonna spend
Symmetros
time.
and shit.
I can play some more games later for you though. Maybe some other day. I have to get through other people's water use too. But like from this you should learn the crosshair placement. I'm gonna use mute everyone so I'm not clutter. You should learn a crosshair placement I use. How, when, how it leads to certain things happening, how I predict certain things. When I used a Dragon Strike and Hanzo earlier, I knew that the only reason he wasn't getting hit by it is because he was backing off into that only other escape corridor. So I knew where to intercept him and find him. That's how you can use your rolls in some cases. To force and limit the amount of escape options they have available, where they have to be standing still right beside a dragon, or they're going to be wall climbing. In that case, I knew he wouldn't be wall climbing. He just grabbed a major health back and was full HP, and I'm pretty sure I prevented him grabbing the health back by using Dragon Strike. 2.5 is very good. It's like, I've never been very good at long range fights. 2.25 makes me good at long range, but makes me suffer more in close range fights like you saw there. With this sense, I specialize in close range, and I'm a lackluster in close range. So with my positioning, I just try to be as close as possible whenever I can without being too cocky. So I'm gonna save my... Punish for the soul. Yeah. I shot on the side of him. Finish piano. So drooping around to come from a long distance.
I am taking you in.
Only she was there.
Физкульт, привет.
Nice stretch, I'm sorry. Okay, keep going, we can do this. We don't have this. I'm sorry. Let's combine Dragon Strike and Guard. They don't have anything to really counter it, as long as you do it properly. reason I did it is because I was the last one to die and we got the Ana. It doesn't really matter since it's 2 CP, but another map, even if I killed myself, I could have gotten a benefit by rushing in. I saw no, I'm not there. I'm dead. Brain fart. That's what happens, probably because I'm using I called it off beforehand. Good heal. Because I got the insane headshot on the Sombra probably. Yes, okay. The thing most of my playstyle is low damage for 10 minutes. You'll see very little berry damage, but high air damage for 10 minutes. High elimination. There we go. That's in Lars, sort of. Ish. As an example, competitive better. Yeah. Oh, then I'm going to show us some other handsome mins. Hopefully they have the profile available. Scouter. Okay, let's see. Look at his handsome stats. And then 11. We'll see higher damage, lower eliminations, lower deaths. Here damage is almost identical, but his barrier damage, I don't think there's that much of a difference. Overall, he has much higher damage. But in this game, because there are more squishies, I killed more and dealt less damage. Okay. Final blows? I have a lot of final blows, most likely. Let's see. Final blows. I don't really look at that too much. But if you look at it, I probably had a lot of them. I had 16, 20 final blows that game. And I had like, how many eliminations do I have? Let's see. 4.5 eliminations per life. How much? Solo kills. That means that no one else participated in helping with that. Secondary fire accuracy. Critical hit accuracy was 20%, and that's immensely high. If you want an example of what is normal, if you go back to the scouter guy. Oh, well, let's see his current season. 10,000 damage. So he's an even more extreme case of no damage, but he has a lot of hero damage. Critical hit accuracy, I don't think is a good sample size. Like if you look here, you'll see a more reasonable one, 15 to 13% is what's typically common. Oh, this guy's insane. Mirror, I showed you him in Discord or whatever. He is much better than presently I am. If I kept playing, I could do better. Critical hit accuracy, you'll see, he doesn't give 2 flying hecks about critical hits. He just wants to spam arrows. So he gets a lot of damage out constantly. That's his way of playing. And then if we were to go for iron aids, I'm pretty sure he shows up here at one point. Season 10. There we go, Iron Ace. He doesn't care that much about playing competitive anymore, but he was 4.6k in Season 10. And his stats were next level. He is literally a monster. Look, 20,000 damage per 10 minutes. 27 eliminations per 10 minutes, 5.7 deaths. It's literally perfect. Let's see the other people, the people who had actually ended up being in higher SRs. Look at them. Typically they're just stacking and whatnot. But look at the stats difference. The difference here is Iron Aids solo queued. These people 4 stack late at night or in certain times. But Iron Aids, if you come here and see, it's like relatively high, wasn't he? We'll find him. I actually, like rank 33, finished at that rank. Personally, like, let's see what happened to his stats after he stopped playing in season 11. One thing you'll notice is he in this season he had very little playtime because he only grinded the best games he could get at the time. He didn't want to go beyond that. But he was 4.6k with Hansel in the season when Hansel wasn't meta. Like, look. And he has a lot of alt accounts. Like, he used the one trick Hansel before it was normal. So I really like him. Iron Ace is nice. But yeah. Like, hit accuracy, I don't really think about that much. Like, you saw me spam arrows a lot of the time just for the 1% chance that someone might walk in there at that moment. Let's go in Americas. Samito. He's a good one to look for answer stats. He's still presently active in the game and whatnot. He's better, I guess. But like, he peaks, what SR range does he peak again? His highest peak was 4650. He played Hansel before it was normal too. I'm pretty sure he started maining in like certain season, was it? This season. So the season before Hansel became meta, because they were talking about reworking him. But in this season when he got his highest peak, he had pretty insane stats too, but you'll notice he has lower damage, higher deaths, not as high eliminations per 10 minutes, and he was, yeah, but like up in accuracy. Let's look between, then look at Iron Age in season 10 when this was meta. Look at the weapon accuracy, you'll see, not that high. My weapon accuracy was pretty low that game. I didn't go for tanks, I just kept going for the squishies. So, although I might not have very good stats in that game, I did a lot of work. I got a lot of weird picks and I positioned myself very differently. I'm not going to be talking too much now though, because I'm going to spend some time with my girlfriend and her friend. But in summary, Damien, do you learn anything from watching the games I streamed for you? Do you learn anything at all? So what do you learn? Might as well show display capture so the girls watching the stream can see as well. Yeah, I should be using wall climb more. I wall climb and then I do it to get different angles so I can shoot the Reinhardt. People behind the Reinhardt shield. Yes, I also played crosshair at corners very frequently. Yes, that's right. That's very true. Now, from all of this, please understand that you can't play like I do immediately. Like, you should not try to emulate it immediately. You should experiment with it though, like give it a try a few games, but realize that you will be making a lot more mistakes than normal because you're doing a very unusual playstyle. My playstyle is not the normal go-to Hansel playstyle. It's not the best one for scrims either, but there's a lot of things you can take from it and apply to your own gameplay when it's the right situation. But I recommend you try the cross replacement thing more, because you saw me get a lot of headshots that you didn't think I would get, right? And especially on Dorado, remember? When I was gliding on surfaces you didn't even know you could glide on, and doing a lot of weird things you never even thought about. In lower SRs, you saw a very large difference, like I had so much space, but in higher SRs, you notice how different it was. I got killed immediately in the beginning because I overextended a little bit more because I was used to playing in lower SRs. So when I played higher SRs, I had to play much more restrained, but I still got picks and I applied pressure, but not as much because I didn't shoot the shield. But I didn't see any reward in doing so because I would be fighting a losing fight, so I tried to get picks behind the shield. Either way, from what you've seen in this gameplay and whatnot, what I want to apply to your own gameplay is using wall climb more often to get certain angles, and also pay attention to how and when I use lunge, where I place my crosshair when I aim, specifically, like exactly where I place it. That's very important information that you might otherwise gloss over. I have gone over the importance of crosshair placement before, and I still see a lot of room for improvement in my current crosshair placement. Like, I start seeing how I can improve as I'm playing sometimes, because presently I'm not at the level I used to be at. That back then I used to be able to perfectly place my crosshair exactly where it needed to be to get a headshot very reliably. I think you remember the 180 flick on the Sombra when she hacked me. That was instant, wasn't it? Remember? Did you find it to be impressive? Very good. Then something I recommend you work on if you want to be able to do that is you do, let me show in practice range real quick. I'm not going to be taking more time than like, I'll be there in a couple of minutes starting. I'm just going to show him 90 and 80 degree flicks. You have to practice it. Like this, charge arrow,
With every
and
death
then, is it
comes
225
honor.
or is it 25?
With honor, redemption.
The first two are insanely accurate, but you get the hang of it eventually. So like, for instance, I want to practice 180 flicks. So like, if I had to do really weird flicks, even I would be having difficulties.
My aim is true.
Like, it wouldn't be accurate. But if I do a 180, I can learn by muscle memory. So, for instance, like, it's harder for me to apply it in my practice range because I do it so naturally. For instance, like that, or like this. But that's what 180 flick basically is, practice doing this over and over. I tend to do it as fast as I can, so I go up here for instance, and then I do this. I typically find at points I can be perfect of how precise I am. So for instance, I go to somewhere like this, and then I see this here and I see this here, so I know. So whenever you flick, you don't need to consider anything besides moving this sort of way. In this way, it's very like a clear pattern with your mouse pad on your mouse or whatever. So like this. So if you have it higher, it does this. So if you get faster and faster, eventually you can get more and more accurate. You gotta learn the 180 flick. Like right now I'm not warmed up. As warmed up as I should be. So I'm not getting it right. Also new mouse. But you just need to get the hang of 180. You don't need to go somewhere specific. You just need to get a hang. How many centimeters do you need to move my mouse? So for here. See? It's not something I can do reliably, but learning 180 flicks, practicing them more often when you have a low sense. So for instance, you see someone behind you, then you do 180 flick, and then you start doing tiny adjustments, so it'll be like this more reliably. So it'll be like an example. More different. You don't do 180 flicks typically when someone's far away. Unless it's like this far away, then you can try to get shots as you're shooting them, but doing a 180 flick, and then you can try to start shooting. If they're far away, you can do one shot in the beginning, and then you start to go to rate of fire, and you spam. When people are 80 spamming like this, you just place your crosshair in between where they're 80 spamming, and you start shooting. With rate of fire, you can just hold in left click when you're doing it. It's difficult with this mouse, but you saw me do it properly a few times. Do the 180 flick as you're lunging too. So it's like quick reaction to moving target typically is how I do the 180 flick. So you have to be quicker, you have to react faster, and then do it one more time. And try to get that one with a lunge. That's typically something I would do to Widowmakers. They stand still when I do this. So they try to land a shot on me. So I have to charge the arrow first, jump, and then lunge. Eventually you get the hang of it, but it's like where you place your crosshair with that 180 depends very much on a lot of factors. 90-degree flick, you need to learn these two. Sometimes you might not be sure if they're directly behind you, but 180 is the most important.
Target practice.
When you do a 180 in the beginning, don't try to make it immediate. Turn around and always take your time to aim. I'm just trying to be flashy. So for instance, if you're here. So like, I do a 180 fast, and then I adjust my crosshair. Okay, that's enough. Before I die. Wait, what? I can stand here? I knew that. But I've noticed when I move to a different area, like here. When I'm here, for instance, I'm shooting here, and then I hear something behind me. Like so. That's enough. I think I've shown what I need to show. Do I turn mouse? Like you lift it, sort of. Turn off hacks. Wait.
With every death comes honor.
Display capture should be
With
removed.
honor, redemption.
There you go.
Perfect.
So you lift the mouse. Like look, when I do this, I typically have it placed. So if I have the mouse on the wrong side of the mouse pad, I lift it, place it on the right side, and then do 180. So it doesn't matter how you do it, you just need to move it. Typically I'll do all my 180s. Like if my mouse pad is on the far right of my mouse pad, then I do a 180 flick towards the left, and if it's on the right side, which I tend to do a majority of the time, then it's going to do a flick with the right side. So like when I try to do this, I try to be too showy, too fast. I normally always do this. So if I do this without jumping.
Perfect.
So it's fast, like this. It's a swipe. It's a swipe. You slide it across the mouse pad. Once you've done a swipe, like you hold it against the mouse pad. Listen. You hold it against the mouse pad, start holding left click. You slide, once you've done the 180, depending on how much more space you have for your mouse pad, you can either keep the mouse at the current location and try to shoot something, but if you notice you ran out of space, you immediately lift the mouse pad, you lift the mouse and then place it in a better location on the mouse pad. So like this. So if I do something like this, I use all my space, then I immediately lift, turn to the far left of my mouse pad, and then I can do 180 again. 180, 180, 180. How do I spam 180? I swipe, and then I lift my mouse and I swipe again. From far left to like the middle right or so, that's how my sense works. So like,
Triple kill.
The dragon hungers.
Pretty accurate flick. Sometimes when I see a flick, like long distance, I might do this. Like I see them far right here, and then I try to. I just get a fully charged arrow, but that's to terminate the further ones. Not that one, not that one. Try left flick, like here. We'll see. Try to have the far right, top right of the screen, for instance. Sometimes I practice this, but it's not like I use it often. These are only required for like immediate reactions. So like, if I wanted to do this, I would typically do it like this. Like if the enemy has noticed me and they're about to kill me, I would do like this. But if they haven't noticed me and I see them, I flick towards them as close as possible and I start tracking. And then I do a micro flip and I release the arrow. So like this. I'll show again. Like on a moving target, like this. You can track them in a way so that it will hit them in their location they're currently moving. So if they're moving forward, they haven't noticed you can just track them in a way which takes the travel time into consideration. So for instance, like if I'm going to move sideways here and try to shoot the furthest one. Like this. Trying to do a micro flick every time when you track is a little bit inconvenient. So you can track like this and it will work relatively fine. So tracking can work. Sometimes when they're not moving in a straight predictable line, you have to predict like this. You track, and then if you notice that they're no longer moving in the present location when you're shooting that location, that's when you flick to the other one, when you predict based upon movement. So for instance, when he's going to turn, when he's going to turn, I have a trick here, but I know it can move here, so I do this. It's one example of that being showcased. So I track this guy, and once he stops and he turns, if I shoot here, it'll hit him, right? That's why the micro flick might be needed at times, because actual movement patterns aren't training bots. This is not actual practice. I warm up maybe here 2 minutes and then I leave.
Triple kill.
They fall before.
Triple kill.
So here, for instance, keys always track perfectly. You keep on a closer range you are, the more close you are to being hit. Can I stand still? Like when I'm here, I can just aim directly at him and I will hit him. But if I'm further away, if I aim directly at him, depending on what sort of angle I have, I won't hit them. Like if I try hitting that person now. There, if I aim directly at them, I might not hit them. There. We'll see. Look. You have to guide the shots. Like that was because I aimed things slightly left, and the hitbox of this is literally just the hitbox. Let me show you something standing still. It's basically like it's immensely big. On a normal size hitbox, it would be like this. So if they were moving and I shot them where they're currently moving from a far distance, the arrow would be here when they were like here, which means it wouldn't hit them, clearly. It's prediction. So, lunge, cross replacement.
Double kill.
So when you stop moving, it didn't hit because when I shoot them, I take the time it will take for the arrow to arrive into consideration. So if they suddenly stop moving, they might not move into the hitbox of the arrow. It's like I shoot something towards them and then I have to predict where the arrow's going to be and where they're going to be. So for instance, when I do this, it's very simple and easy. Like, do the far one. I have to aim a little bit forward in front of it. And when someone's jumping, it's very easy because whenever they jump in one direction, you can tell where they're facing. They can't change the direction that much when they jump. When you're committed towards one direction, you're going to land in exactly one position and stand still for like a split second. Like, look. It's very easy to break movement patterns, like a wave. And then you start seeing other movement patterns, like 80 strafing, like this. This is basically just vibrating. Sometimes a little bit short like this, but I always go inside where I was before. So a way to counter this would be to use state of fire and start spamming the person doing 80 strafing, spamming 80 strafing like this. Oh, it's enough. I actually have to spend time with him now. Too autistic. I'm not dedicate myself too much. Okay. Now. Wait. 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 Where's... Hang on. I'll talk to you later, Damien. It was nice